As you might have understood that the topic that was given to me was related to AI, but I decided to take one of the applications of AI, that is ChatGPT, and its implications for teaching learning. It is the recent application of AI, and so I thought that it will be the apt way of delivering the talk on ChatGPT. So let us go to the first slide. So as you can see that as educators, we have been trying for many years to transform the education system, particularly the education methodology, because we have been teaching the same type of methodology, that is the chalkboard board method, and moreover, a little bit of activities that we introduce as language teachers, that itself is not sufficient to enhance the skills of the learners. At the same time, we have also found out that the industry is expecting a lot from the education system, and that is why the need has arrived, or the need has come for all the educators to start thinking about transforming the education system. But, but, what do we find is when AI came into the picture, there was a whole lot of a change in the mindset of the teachers. In the sense, we teachers, we are very afraid that AI or the machine would take the place of human beings. We are also, very afraid that we will lose our jobs, and moreover, the students will not listen to us. The students will be more focused towards the machines. That is what we felt, and this was not only in India. This kind of feeling that the teachers had, it was all around the world. So everywhere in the world, the teachers felt that their jobs were at risk and they would lose their jobs. So I'll just show you some newspaper clippings, and then you'll understand what was the overall reaction of the teachers across the globe. So first, we have the Harvard Independent saying that ChatGPT means that the death of education. Then we have the Wall Street Journal quoting that ChatGPT was banned from New York City public schools because the students were found to use devices and networks. So this was in the Western countries, but then we also find that in India, we always get the information a little delayed, or it is a little late, it reaches India. So when ChatGPT reached India, again, it was the same kind of reaction. In Bangalore University, ChatGPT was banned after students were found using AI tools for examination, assignments, and lab tests. I'll just give you a small instance. When ChatGPT first came into India, one of my colleagues, he actually tried to use ChatGPT, and he just wrote a prompt saying that, I want a research abstract to be written for a particular topic. He was from mechanical engineering, and he said that he wanted some particular topic in mechanical engineering. He wanted the abstract to be generated by ChatGPT. Immediately, within seconds, the abstract was generated. But what he did, or he wanted to find out, whether the fact that he had taken from ChatGPT, whether people could understand that. So he took the abstract, and in our institute, we have a software called the Turnitin software. You must be knowing about it. So he used the Turnitin software to find out whether the software could detect the originality of the research abstract. But unfortunately, the software said that only 1% was plagiarized. And that news, when it was shared to all of us in the faculty group, as teachers, we were really shocked. We understood one thing, that not only as teachers we could write research papers very easily with the help of ChatGPT, but also as students, when they have a task of writing a report, for example, or for writing a proposal. So any kind of task, even for writing assignments, they could take the help of ChatGPT, and they no longer require the teachers at all. So that was the basic reaction, or the first reaction we all had. So, and we felt, especially, in my case, I felt really alarmed, because I felt that, what is the use of writing a research paper when we can easily generate it from ChatGPT, from an online source, from an AI tool. So that, something, like really, alarmed me, and I really went to talk to those engineering faculty. I wanted to find out from them what was posted in the faculty group, does it really happen in a similar manner? And it was said that it happened in a similar manner. So we were all shocked, and I just couldn't do it. I mean, couldn't think of going to ChatGPT and writing a research paper. Always thought of writing research papers on my own. And when someone tells you that you need not even write research papers, it can be generated. I felt that people can write hundreds and thousands of research papers because it can be easily generated by ChatGPT. So that was the reaction. But gradually, people started trying to find out whether a ChatGPT, if it has come as a tool, let us find out if there are some usefulness about ChatGPT. So I will take you now to what exactly happened after a few months. So back in New York, schools who were actually favoring, for banning ChatGPT, now they say that we don't want to ban ChatGPT. We want to ChatGPT to be there in school, and we can teach with it. So better to teach, bring in ChatGPT to the classroom so that learners also learn how to use it, and we as teachers also should learn how to use it. That was the initial reaction. So when MIT Institute, you all know, they are doing what kind of work they're doing. So when MIT Institute came up with the news that ChatGPT is going to change education and not destroy it, so then people, started having a lot of confidence, or little confidence they gain, in the sense that yes, we can use ChatGPT in the classroom, we can use it for favorable purposes, or rather for the learning purpose it can be used. So then slowly, like people started, saying that, in the newspapers, it came up that, teachers should not be afraid of ChatGPT because who is to be afraid of ChatGPT or something like that. Yes, I like this news clipping from New York Times. Here, the school that had banned ChatGPT, they started revoking against ChatGPT. They started, going against that banning ChatGPT, and they came together. All the teachers came together, and they wanted ChatGPT to be installed or to be encouraged to be used in the school premises. So here we can see that by all these news clippings, we can see that people were started to find out, the teachers wanted to find out what is exactly ChatGPT, what are the things that needs to be understood or learned in ChatGPT, and how it can be used in order to enhance the skills of the learners. That is what, the main focus was towards this, the main focus was targeted. Now, I have a picture over here. If any one of you could unmute yourself and tell me what is this picture about? Can anyone tell me what is this picture about? I've taken this picture from the internet.
Industrial Revolution?
Sorry?
Industrial Revolution.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely right. This is Industrial Revolution, and here we are talking about the fourth Industrial Revolution. So as you can see, from steam, we went to electricity, then computing, and then comes the intelligence, that is AI. So we are in the fourth industrial revolution. So as in all other revolutions, there was always a matter of fear in the minds of people. When it started with, first the machines coming into the picture, the people, where most of the time, we were relying on manual labor. Suddenly, when machines came into the picture, people started revolting against the machines. They started ransacking the machines. They started destroying the machines because they didn't want the machines, to take the place of human beings, the human labor. So, but then gradually they accepted that also, because now they thought that the machines could minimize the workload, but at the same time, the machines could be used for other purposes, and human beings could be utilized in some other purpose. That is what the feeling was. With AI also, the very first thing that came into our mind was human beings are of no use. We are useless. We have no work to do now. Everything can be done with machines. That kind of fear, crept in our minds, and especially with the teaching community, because for the students, it became. Shall I continue?
Yeah, you continue,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. That's what I felt was, it was the same kind of fear that existed in the mind of people. So all the people felt that, with with AI also, the same kind of fear developed that human beings will be are not required anymore. Everything can be done with the help of machines, and especially the teaching community felt that students, need not come to the class, attend the lectures, listen to the teachers, because the machines can give more information and give quicker information in comparison to human beings. So I would say with the fourth industrial revolution, with any kind of revolution, first the concept of fear. Always there is a fear in the minds of the people, and from the fear, we gradually move on to hope that yes, there could be something useful related to the machines, and so we need to explore what is useful with the machines. And then, once we start exploring, once we become familiar with the machines, then obviously we start building trust on the machine. Similarly, I would say that here, as a part of the teaching community, I would say in my case also, I also felt that, I had the fear in my mind. So I started, having that fear that, what will happen to us, especially me, when I don't feel like, going to some sources and asking them to write this research paper for me. I was worried when I can write actually one research paper in a year. I was worried, with ChatGPT, people can write innumerable research papers. So that was a constant worry, and that was a constant fear in my mind. But when you have seminars and webinars like this, automatically there is a hope that yes, there is something more to ChatGPT. There is something more that I need to learn, and that learning can help me to use ChatGPT in a different way and also in a much more meaningful way. And the more I start exploring about, for example, ChatGPT, I start building trust on ChatGPT, because the way ChatGPT can reduce my workload, that is definitely going to allow me to write more research papers, definitely. So let us go to the next aspect. That is, I want to throw light on certain fact check over here. By 2050, AI will be a billion times smarter than human beings. This is a fact, and we cannot deny this fact that the machines will become much more smarter than human beings, because the kind of research is going on in order to use a machine, or in order to do machines in such a way so that human beings need not be taxed, or need not be allowed to do unnecessary work. We know that AI will be much more smarter than human beings, and it will replace most of the labor that human beings are doing at present. uh, Next is that I will like to tell you that soon it will be a common assumption that all written pieces involved is because of AI. Now, this has become, in my case also, if I find when I ask my students, to write something, for example, I ask them to write a speech, or I ask them to write a report. When they come with the report, I say that, have you taken this information from ChatGPT? That is my question to my students. So now itself, not soon, it has already become a common assumption that anybody who writes something, it has always it has taken from ChatGPT, because that is the quickest way to generate information, quickest way to complete your task, quickest way to complete your assignments or any other piece of writing. So if there is a deadline, I will definitely go to ChatGPT. And to give you my example, so for example, when I generate activities for my students, or rather I would say, when I want students to learn a piece of concept, any concept that I want them to learn, so I have to give examples. So certain examples I can think on the spot, but certain examples I take the help of ChatGPT, because I get it instantly, and I don't have to spend too much time thinking on what kind of examples I have to give them. Or I design even exercises for them, I go to ChatGPT to design just exercises. So this can be done, but I do it occasionally. But now I feel that we should try and use ChatGPT every day in our lives, because this is something that we need to do it all the time. As I'm telling you, it will definitely reduce our work, and it will definitely help us to do things much faster, and it will also help us to focus on the relevant things and not waste our time doing things which might be very time consuming. So with this, I would say that you might be asking why we will be doubting all the students, or even people doubting us as researchers. We might also be doubted. When I submit a research paper to any journal, the journal, they might start doubting whether I have written all the information myself. So why this situation might come? This situation might come because, as I told you right now, because everyone wants to, minimize the time that they spend on a particular task, because there's so many tasks and people are engaged in multiple tasking. So therefore, you want to complete a short span of time. You want to complete many things simultaneously, and so therefore you do not have time to devote to a particular task, and that to spend a lot of time on that. And that's why you will go to ChatGPT to generate your task. Okay. So here I will be showing you the concept. I will be dealing with the concept of artificial intelligence and ChatGPT. Where does ChatGPT fall in, with the help of this simple Venn diagram? So let us understand the concept of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a concept or an idea which was initiated with the help of people, trying to find out what machines can do in order to reduce my tedious job. So machines can really help human beings in minimizing the tedious job. So that was why artificial intelligence was thought of. It was initiated. It was researched upon. Now, the application of artificial intelligence, or one of the applications of artificial intelligence, is machine learning. And as you can see, machine learning, I have included the box inside artificial intelligence. So therefore, machine learning is one of the application of artificial intelligence. And in this machine learning, what is happening is the machines can think like human beings, but with human intervention. Only with human intervention, machines can think like me. So ChatGPT is also a machine that can think like human beings, but with human intervention. So what kind of human intervention? Human beings have to give all the information to ChatGPT. For example, research papers, or essays, or you can say any sort of information related, maybe plays, of the plays of Shakespeare, the plays of Bernard Shaw, all the plays, all the soft copies or the written information of this playwrights, they have to be given to ChatGPT. So I'm trying to say is that the ChatGPT, there is a corpus of information. Lot of information is there with ChatGPT. Now, what does ChatGPT do with this information? So if I ask a question to ChatGPT that I want a summary in 100 words related to food chain, for example, or related to artificial intelligence, immediately within seconds, ChatGPT is able to find out from the corpus, or extract information from the corpus, and use its own intelligence to make it a coherent and logical representation of ideas, and put it together in 100 words and give it to me. So what can machine do? Machine can use its own intelligence to do these things, to collect the information, to extract the information from the corpus that I've fed into the machine. So human beings are feeding the corpus, but the machine can extract the information and put it into a meaningful unit. So that is what machine is doing. So this is what that we are slightly worried about. If machines can do this, then there might be some day when machines may not be required to even feed in information. Okay, what we are doing now, feeding information to the machine, that also machine may not be required. If they can extract information like this, I think machine can have their own consciousness by not allowing human beings to interfere in their consciousness. So this is what we are coming to, that a part of an application of machine learning is deep learning. So in deep learning, machines can think like human beings without human intervention. So human intervention is not required in deep learning. So this is definitely interesting, but at the same time, it is terrifying. Isn't it terrifying? It is terrifying because it is definitely allowing us to understand that human beings can be surpassed. Machines can surpass human beings in terms of ideas, in terms of the thought process, in terms of the speed. So we can be surpassed, we can be overpowered, we can lie nowhere actually when this sort of situation comes about, or this sort of situation arises. Okay, with this I would like now to see how the future looks like. So initially with artificial intelligence, we had narrow intelligence. We started with narrow intelligence. You might have seen when we install Windows earlier, when we used to install Windows, then we had a feature called Katona. Okay, so Katona used to, respond, to our queries in a limited manner, but it did respond to a query. So an algorithm was designed so that Katona could respond to our queries. We have Alexa also doing the same thing. Gradually, research took us to artificial intelligence to another level, that is the machine having general intelligence. So here, we have the self-driving car, Tesla, the self-driving car. And you might be knowing that, the self-driving car, of course, the human intervention is required. But then when the machine can also try to find out in what ways it can overcome the obstacles that they face, whatever obstacles might come in the way, they can find out in their own way how to overcome the obstacles and how to get rid of the obstacle. With chat gpt also it is the same thing. We human beings are feeding the information onto chat gpt, but the machine, but then the chat gpt is able to generate ideas on their own, collect the information and generate ideas on their own, so that every time we ask for a summary in 100 words on the topic food chain, they will generate different passages. Okay, it's not the same passage that will be generated again and again. So that is why I say that chat gpt can do things on their own, provided we have already given some sort of information to chat gpt. So now research is going on to use artificial intelligence in order to produce super machines. Okay, so that means, as I told you a little while ago, machine will have their own consciousness, and therefore this intellect will help the machines to become more smarter than human beings, and of course to beat human beings in the near future. We have not come to this situation yet, but there will be a time when we will definitely come to this situation. But one more thing I would like to point out: even though chat gpt can create its own information, the machine can create its own information, there are, however, certain limitations of the machines as well. So the machines have limitations in the sense, the machine is totally dependent on what human beings are feeding them. So therefore, if the human being is whoever is feeding that information, if is biased or if is prejudiced, therefore chat gpt will also produce those kind of information. So, and sometimes the information provided by chat gpt may not be accurate. So even though we are all very worried that chat gpt has come into the picture, I would like to tell you that we need not worry that ChatGPT has come into the picture, because for every information that we take from ChatGPT, we need to cross-check that information and try to find out its authenticity and its reliability. So therefore, all information, we cannot just blindly take the information from ChatGPT. So I tell my students, if you are writing the literature review from ChatGPT, if you are giving the prompt to ChatGPT that please write a literature review in this particular topic for my research paper, ChatGPT will definitely write the literature review, but you need to check whether whatever is written, whatever ChatGPT has produced, whether it actually matches with the topic that you have selected for your research paper. Okay, so this is what I tell my students, and this is what I tell myself also, that I'm not going to go to chat gpt and waste my time trying to verify the information. Rather, I write it myself. Okay, so with this I would like to take you to the fact that it's a win-win situation from the student's perspective as well as from the teacher's perspective. So as teachers, we need not feel that we are at loss. The students will not listen to us. Students will definitely listen to us, because number one, they have understood that all the information generated by ChatGPT has to be verified before they submit it to the teacher. So verification will definitely take time. They cannot just submit it to the teacher, because the teacher has also become smart enough to use ChatGPT and find out the authenticity of the information provided by the student. So as a student, what is the benefit is, the student can use ChatGPT as a personal tutor. For those students who do not come from affluent families, okay, for them, to go to tuition class and get tutored by a very good teacher, where they have to pay high fees. So it might be very difficult, but they can use chat gpt as a personal tutor, and they can acquire the skills. They can acquire the skills of, for example, vocabulary skills, they can improve on their vocabulary, they can improve on their analytical skills, their cognitive skills, critical thinking skills, and so on. So for the teacher, for the